Morning, everybody. Just waiting for everyone to metaphorically take their seats. I'm sure you're already sitting down anyway. And then we shall begin. Still working on the music. Yeah, I nearly played the OTT Christmas video. There's quite good music on that one with the captain of Milan Airlines, Captain Daniel Bainbridge. That was quite a lot of fun. Maybe a bit too nostalgic for you all those. You know, it was a really good networking event, that one. But they're coming back, pubs are opening, we've just been talking about that. And so pretty soon, I'm sure things will start to kind of have a bit of normality to them. It's good to see destinations opening up a little bit and airlines beginning to fly again. So that's good. Right, so thank you for taking the time to join us again today. Learn, Inspire, Connect are really the three key areas to working with OTT. So just to sort of recap them before I introduce everybody. The learn aspect is really how you're engaging with the travel community in terms of getting them to learn about your products and services and destinations through obviously the e-learning technology that we have. And also helping them to learn about even unlock. So we're doing destination unlock webinars, which is information in itself. We're not charging for that. We just need to give the agents all the information they need so they can pass it on correctly to the consumers. So if you missed the how to create an engaging course, then you can watch it back. It's on the supplier side of the OTT website, and you can do that. Also, as part of Learn, don't forget to keep sending us information for the newsletters that are going out weekly, twice a week now. They were daily, but the news is luckily getting less horrible. So we're getting a bit more positive news to be sending out there on a, still COVID related on a weekly basis. So keep them coming. And also for the blog as well. So that's news for the blog that we put that up to explain what's going on. So then next on is Inspire. Now we will be holding a marketing webinar about how you can really market yourself, your brands rather, on OTT. So that will be coming soon. But in the meantime, Inspire is all about using the marketing opportunities that we give you, as well as opportunities such as, say, the OTT coffee break webinar, Be Inspired. So we went to Grenada this week and we learned about the fruits and the spices of the island, and that was really interesting. Cinnamon, literally you carve it off a tree and dry it in the sun, and it's quite remarkable. That's how you get cinnamon. I always wonder how the first person discovered that. But anyway, the coffee webinars are good. We're booked up till the end of, well, August now practically. I think there's still a few spots towards the end of August, so do let me know if that's something you want to do. So you're inspiring the agents about your brands through competitions and prizes. Still keep them going. Grenada did dark chocolate from the island, so don't think that they have to be really big prizes. Just any kinds of prizes that are drawing attention to you is really what you need to do, and as well as all kinds of the usual visual marketing and digital marketing that you're doing. So then finally we're on to Connect, and Connect is the final piece in the puzzle of virtual account management. Once you've taught the agents all about your products and services, you've inspired them to learn more, so they're selling you correctly, they now want to sell you more than ever. You now need to really nurture this micro audience that you have been creating through your e-learning technology and your micro website that you've created, and now you want to have conversations with them. You want to send them notices, whether it's update notices, offer notices, any other kinds of notices. You need to engage them and have a discussion with them. And at the moment that's getting quite difficult because they're very hard to talk to and to meet, aren't they? Still, and will be for some time. So it really is your virtual account management tool. So that's me as by way of introduction. The experts are really here. We have Louise Honan, who's our marketing director from OTT. She's going to walk us through how we have set up AutoMail and how that's going to work for you. And we also have James and Jake from Force24. Force24 powers AutoMail. It's a really sophisticated tool which they've spent millions on. I'm sure they'll say. So it's but sophistication and lots of money spent usually means simplicity. So don't get too frightened that you're going to see something that's really quite tricky. But they'll demystify it and show you how you can engage with it and enjoy engaging with it in order to get the most from it. And if you can do all those Learn, Inspire, Connect, you'll get the most out of your marketing subscription, which is absolutely key in a COVID year, I have to say. Without further ado, let me introduce Louise, who I believe is going to take it away first, and then I think followed by James. And then I'll come back towards the end just for a little Q&A if you've got any questions coming through. We also have Nida on the chat, so if you've got any burning questions, Nida is our account manager, who I'm sure many of you know, and she can answer some questions through the chat button, so don't forget to do that as well. In the meantime, it's goodbye from me just for a few moments. Should be about half an hour, the webinar. Okay. Over to you, Louise.
Okay, thank you, Julia. I'm just going to start sharing my screen. So if you can just give me permission, yeah, Julia, to share the screen.
Sure.
Are you still sharing? Yeah, okay, here we go. Great. I hope everybody can see that. I just have 4 slides, and I'm going to touch on 4 main topics. One is sources of data that you have so that you can build your audience. That's probably the most important thing, to gather your audience, and then we start communicating with them. Targeting. Specific messages for specific audiences, journey automation, and this is something that we are doing at OTT, and it's working really well for us, and something that I think can be very useful for you guys as you nurture those contacts and really try and build a relationship with them through email, and finally get in touch. So yeah, AutoMail, it's accessible from the portal. So from your Auto portal where you go in to edit your courses, there's a link to AutoMail, and you log in from there. Okay, building your audience. So as I said, there's 2 sources of travel agent contacts, and both can be managed by AutoMail. So the first one are agents who complete your course. We've set up through APIs and through work with Force 24's development team. Once an agent passes your course, they'll be automatically dropped into your company profile. This is a great source of building your audience, because everybody who passes that course is GDPR compliant, and therefore you have no worries communicating with them. And the second audience you may have are the agents that you're engaging with maybe outside of OTT. Maybe you're engaging with them through events, through your own newsletter, perhaps relationships you have with suppliers or other travel agencies, other distribution channels you're using. And those agents can also be added to your pot. We can do a data upload, just get in contact with your account manager. A number of clients have done it, particularly if they want to start engaging with clients in different markets. I know we've had a lot of interest in the German market. And of course, AutoMail will support communications in different languages. So really worth bearing in mind that you're not limited to the people who've just passed your course, that we're able to facilitate data uploads as well. Targeting. Targeting, of course, is key across all of your channels in marketing. And so email is no different. It's about creating a specific message for a specific audience. So moving away from this sort of broadcasting, general blasting messages, to really thinking about your audience. What are they concerned about? What are they interested in? And tailoring those messages. So AutoMail allows you to segment and tailor your message by language might be something that you're interested in. So a very simple thing is to tailor the message so that we're localizing message for local markets. Again, we can target by country. Indeed, in the UK, we can go down to city level. And again, we've done that for some clients who earlier in the year and towards the end of last year wanted to invite agents to specific events they were having regionally. Manchester was an example. London, of course, is always popular. And within AutoMail, you'll be able to find those agents who are based in those regions and send specific messages to them. Targeting by company is also very helpful. So you may wish to run a competition for, we'll say you're in partnership with a specific agency. Again, we've done this in Germany for a client who wanted to do, they were very inventive really, and they had a competition for that specific agency, that specific channel, and it worked really well for them. So they were targeting by language, by country, and by company. Sector targeting is also something that we've been doing at OTT for quite a long time, and now through AutoMail you'll be able to do the same. And I have Czech Republic there just as a prompt. They're a client of ours who were very interested in mice clients. As we know, mice agents are very high value agents. And so the Czech Republic were having an event to attract those agents who were selling events, meetings, and were looking to host them somewhere different. And so I know in their specific example, they targeted these agents, and they were able to get 50% of the people who opened that email actually turned up for their event. So while the top line may not be very high in that it was actually 15 agents, the fact that those 15 agents are the agents who are genuinely interested in MICE events, who are specialists, who are competent, who are knowledgeable, and they're the type of agents that destinations, hotels need to be engaging with. I think 15 good agents is better than 50 who have no interest in MICE. So targeting. Journey automation, and this is really where AutoMail powered by Force 24 comes into its own. I think this is what allows us to really sweat the asset of these valuable contact lists. This is where you can nurture your audience, you develop that relationship, and we do that. Some of our clients are doing it. I have the example of a GNR. We have another example of Copenhagen, but there are many, many more where we can set up for you in the background emails that will be triggered based on behaviors, and therefore they're timely and they're meaningful for those agents who receive them. An example would be maybe you might want to direct a travel agent once they've completed the OTT course into more in-depth training. You might want to promote related brands or products that you're selling. Ask them to join a newsletter. And that brings me on then to preferences. I know this is quite new to Force 24, but this will allow you, again, once you've engaged with them once, we can automatically direct them where they will select their preferences, areas that they're particularly interested in. For example, COVID updates are very topical at the moment. What are the themes? What are the events that are really making your business tick? What messages do you want to communicate with your audience? So by allowing audiences to select their own preferences, it's supporting targeting and it's making sure that our content is relevant. Microsites, again, we've used them in OTT very successfully. We can use them You might have content that you don't want to have on your general site. It might be information about a survey. It might be maybe COVID specific. It may be reopening content, but microsites are very useful for that. They're a quick way of getting content available. Forms, you might want to invite people to perhaps your own webinar, to complete surveys, etc. As I was saying, we use automated journeys very successfully here in OTT, and this is just an example of our welcome journey. So we use it to drive continuity of use and really try and deepen that relationship. So we can see the first one is we're welcoming an agent to OTT, explaining a little about it. Then we invite them to become an expert and take more courses. And then we prompt them about winning prizes. And this has worked really well. So average unique opens, I've just pulled out some stats here, is about 33%, which is very positive. Click rates 15%. I think anybody would be happy with a click rate of between 8 and 10. So 15 is, we're very proud of that. And 83% of new users complete a course for receiving email too. So just that idea of something that is personalized, that is timely, and that's the beauty of automated journeys. You set them up in the background and they run themselves. And really, in this overview, I just want to ask you to get in touch. I know that webinars, we are limited in time, but we have a great team in OTT, Nida, Pretty, and Yomante. You may know them already. But we've been investing a lot of time working with Force24, really understanding the product. We're using it internally in OTT and are very happy with it. So please do not hesitate to get in touch, and we can guide you through setting up automation and getting the most out of your AutoMail profile. So that's it from me. Over to you, James.
Excellent.
I'll stop sharing.
So hopefully you guys can see my screen now. This wonderful woodland scenery, which we'll be allowed back to a little bit from the weekend, or the pub, whichever people are going to first. If I log into the system, what I wanted to do today is just provide a little bit of a brief overview into Force24 and some of the tools that are available, because in actual fact, this is, as Julia alluded to, an incredibly powerful system, but it's been developed by marketeers to be used quickly and easily by marketeers, which is a bit of a USP compared to other email platforms on the market. It's very simple to use, and what we've seen primarily is that marketeers are spread thin, often wear multiple hats within the business, and are encumbered by manual processes. So this is a way to quickly aggregate data, to prioritize communication and automate that communication where possible in order to reduce the strain on internal teams. Just to give you some very quick highlights today, there are other sessions in coming weeks where we'll be talking about building emails in more detail, building campaigns in more detail, but just to give you some understanding here of what's available within this tool. So as an opening dashboard, we're able to see within AutoMail for you guys, obviously it's Force24 powering. We have our most recent campaigns which have been built, our most recent email templates. And one thing that I think is always really important to see here is the campaign summary. When we look at emails, we as a business refer to these as vanity metrics. So sends, opens, and clicks are useful measurements of engagement, but should not be the be all and end all for all businesses. You know, we often get caught up in, we have a 40% open rate or a 25% click-through rate, but in actual fact, we should be understanding what was the reason behind our communication, and has that action been followed through. If you're sending emails with the overall objective of them being opened, that defeats the object, because that will not shift the bottom line and it will not educate your audience any further. What we need to be understanding of is And the way that we look at this is actually that for us, email is bait. Email is a hook to grab attention, where we would then deliver people through to a dedicated landing page to understand the full story, and then move on into the wider offering that we offer. And then it's about utilizing all of that information, all of that knowledge to then personalize the communication further into the next communication and the next communication to nurture them through a relevant journey. What we also see through here, so SMS is available. We also have things like peak engagement times. And this is a bit of a trap for a lot of businesses as well, where what we often hear businesses say is something like, well, we send all of our emails at 9 a.m. on Tuesday morning because that's the best time that we see them get opened. So that in itself is a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because that's the time you send it, then inevitably that will be the time that people engage with it. So it's important to vary the times to trial and error and understand when is the best time, not only for the open, because it's easy to open an email on a Tuesday morning and delete it, but in actual fact, when are people then engaging with your content? When are people following through and reading, your COVID updates, or having a look at the wider offering of the training courses that you offer? Because in actual fact, those are the valuable communications, those are the valuable engagements. And just as Louise mentioned earlier, small volumes of valuable people are incredibly valuable to the business. So we really must be measuring what are the results we're trying to achieve, as opposed to how many opens and clicks are we actually delivering. There's a lot of information on here which I'm just going to breeze past, but we've touched on this already. The OTT team are vastly knowledgeable on the Force24 and AutoMail platform, huge champions for us, and very much people that we can recommend that you go to for assistance should you need any further information. I'll whiz through this as a board, or the relevant points. Emails I'm not going to take you through today, but part of the onboarding process, as you will have experienced, this is an AutoMail tool which is then filled with your data. It is filled with your imagery, your fonts, colors, signatures, logos, all of the such. It is your branded content. So every communication is going out, feels and looks like it's coming from you. And I think one thing that Louise mentioned earlier is that this is not only delivering data from OTT, from those people, while they are incredibly valuable contacts that are coming through OTT. What is also available to you here is to be able to share your existing data with OTT for them to upload that into Force24. It's Force24 and AutoMail. This is your data, you have ownership of it, and it is GDPR compliant. Force24 as a system is ISO 27001 accredited. It is the gold star for data handling, and there are less than 5% of businesses on the planet that hold that accreditation. Also, we have existing suppression lists based upon bounds, based upon, and also will manage opt-out at the unique level of your business as well for your account. So from a GDPR compliance perspective, you are always safe, but should anything raise red flags, it does highlight to us and somebody would go through OTT and then communicate with you there. So you are always safe. GDPR is one of those things that has often been scaremongered and talked about inaccurately, because for us, GDPR is a massive benefit, because it means that there is a responsibility put on the sender for what they're communicating about. So now it's important to understand who you're communicating with, why are you communicating with them, and what are you communicating with them about. The Force24 system, as I mentioned, will always manage opt-outs as well. So if people are opting out, then the system will remove them, even if you put them back in through other lists, because we know that they as an individual are opted out, and therefore you won't communicate with them. If they are opting out of your communications, that does not stop OTT from communicating with them and still pushing your products also. As we move into the sort of journey manager, this is really the brain for any marketing automation. And I won't take you through this in vast detail, but just to give you some understanding of some of the variants and triggers that we can use to communicate. So within your data, we can talk and take segments from marketing lists. So if there was a marketing list that we knew we wanted to speak to, so this could be people that are attending our event, people that have signed up for the event, people that are signed up for other newsletters, we can target that audience immediately. If, however, we wanted this to be something more dynamic, there are multiple triggers existing within this system. So as an example, we could take, and I'll use this just as an auxiliary field. So we could say, has anybody joined from AutoMail and been pushed through from OTT? So we'll just say yes. And then also, I just want to make sure, so in fact, so that would be then a dynamic trigger. So anybody who is pushed through from OTT into our system will automatically qualify for this journey. It doesn't mean that they can go through multiple times, because obviously they can only pass through from OTT once, or we can set that as a restriction within the platform. One thing that I think it is imperative to do when people are being added to your marketing list is to welcome them, or at least give them an understanding of what to expect through communication from you as a business. And as Louise mentioned earlier, this may be an opportunity to sign up for other training courses that you offer. It may be to give them an understanding of what to expect from you guys in communication throughout the year. It may be an update on your COVID stance. So there are lots of things here that are important to tell. Where businesses usually get confused is that we send one email with a lot of information, when in actual fact, our statistics show that from a cold acquisition campaign, 1 in 6 emails is the usual engagement rate that we would see. So please don't be confused by the rest of the boxes or whatever is happening here. But if we were to say from these people, we would send a delay. So we could say, actually, I want this to go out within a set of send windows. So as I mentioned earlier, where usually this would go out on a Tuesday morning at 9 AM, we could send this in smaller bursts to understand in bunks of 20 every hour, and we could set this to go between the hours of 7 and, for argument's sake here, 6 PM between Monday to Sunday. What we get here then is a variation of times that it's hitting people's inbox. We have a variety of opportunities for people to engage with this, and it feels less like a marketing communication and more personalized. As we then start to understand when are people taking action and which of those actions are valuable, we can narrow that down into smaller segments of time to ensure that we're getting the best results from our sent content. Just drop this in there so we can do so. From here, we connect the dots to build as we will. But as I mentioned before, most people send one email and send it once. Understanding that we have the opportunity of 1 in 6 emails that people would traditionally engage with, it's important to send this email more than once to people who haven't engaged with it. If you're providing valuable content that is very much essential for your clients to understand and your agents to be engaged with, or at least have another opportunity, because we sent one at Tuesday at 9 AM and they had a team meeting or were distracted by a customer, whatever it may be, then that information doesn't become any less valuable. It just means that they missed the opportunity to engage with it. So what we would do here within this sequence, and I won't take you through this in its entirety, but we would have this run multiple times over the case of, for example, through the month. We would give you the opportunity to see that email 4 times and then be asking the question as make a decision. Did they engage with that? Did they take the action that we that we wanted them to do? So did they open it? Did they click it? Did they download the brochure that we were told that we sent out to them? This again, you can have multiple journeys running at any one time. It's very important to have these set up, but it means then that you're not reliant upon the team to send those 3 emails throughout the week. This can be an automated journey that is triggered once somebody then is sent through to you from OTT. They then run through that that welcome sequence, that education sequence, and this can be set up as well with other multi-layer strategies going on top. Again, speak to the OTT team. They are wonderfully educated on how to move this forward. Once data exists, these people then exist within your system. So this can be interrogated, so in actual fact, and segmented. So we could be looking at, I would like to look at people who have been sent through from OTT, are based in Manchester, have signed up for our event next month in London when they come back to the real world, and are B2B. So if this data exists, if you are tracking that data, then it can be interrogated. And what we may end up there with is, actually, we interrogate that data, it comes out with 5 people who fit that list. In fact, I'll just do a quick interrogation here so you can see what that looks like. I'll just pick a market list that I know exists. And then I would say, let's just have a look at this. Email exit contains, and I'll look at us because I know, just to keep it safe, and they are based within Leeds. So very, very quickly here, I am interrogating a set of data, and the speed at which it carries this out is quite impressive. So at the minute we're executing a search against, I'll take Leeds out just in case, we're interrogating a data, and we wouldn't be in there either. But if we were to interrogate this, it's gone over 500,000 contacts to come back and tell me that there are 11 people here. What this may then be used is, that could be a segment of your highly engaged customers, it could be your low engaged customers, it could be people as you build up the anticipation for an event. So these could then become a call list. It could become a list where you send a higher frequency of engagement. It could be people who are put into a segment to receive a different level of tonality. Because in actual fact, when we speak to people, it's very quick we are often as businesses very quick to bulk everybody into one group to make sure that everybody receives every communication that we want to send. When in actual fact, your high value customers and your engaged audience should be spoken to more frequently. And if they're engaged, then your tonality should probably be more friendly. And as that reverses back into the less engaged or the less frequent people who are using your services. But by building these segments, we're able to analyze, we are able to personalize through email and through microsite as well. But the capability within this tool is absolutely phenomenal. And over the next few weeks, we'll be able to go into how do we build emails, how do we build campaigns, and really give you some reassurances that this tool isn't just for communicating with the highly qualified leads from OTT, but can also be leveraged to benefit your traditional marketing comms into your audiences. There is a live chat which is available, which I think Nida is managing as well. So if anything comes up, please don't hesitate to send questions across, and we'll answer them as we can. But I hope that was useful.
Yeah, I think it was a very good overview, James.
Absolutely. It's funny always coming back to the room, isn't it? Yeah, thanks very much. I know it is a bit difficult out of context when you see information on the screen that's not travel, that's not kind of related to you. I think you have to kind of try, and it's a bit like going to a new house, and if you imagine this is the whatever rooms it is, if they're all blank. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a frog in my throat suddenly. But I hope you've given you've seen that there's a good idea as to how AutoMail can really help your businesses. I think you mentioned before about uploading data into AutoMail or via Force 24. So the GDPR compliant aspect of it, what sort of admin is involved in that, Louise? If you want to upload your own data.
Yeah, it's actually very simple. We will do it for you. And so all the client has to do is fill out a one-page form just saying that content that they've engaged with these clients before, and therefore they are a legitimate contact list. If they sign that, then we take it from there. We can upload it, and we can take that file in an Excel sheet, CSV, whatever is easier. But again, Pretty, Nida and Yamante have all done this before, and they will take you through it step by step.
Fab. And in the meantime, anyone taking and completing an OTT course, all that data, once it's all set up for everybody, it flows automatically into the OTTOMail product. No one has to do any buttons or click anything. And
and actually, that was that is the joy of it. And the team at Force 24 worked with us to really set that up so that you know, our clients can be confident they don't have to worry about unsubscribes. That's all done. They don't need to worry about making sure that they've uploaded names and email addresses of somebody who's passed the course this month. All of that is done automatically. Using those automated journeys. Once somebody passes a course, they're automatically added to your audience pot. And if they unsubscribe, that's managed as well.
That's great. And in the part of the setup process, we usually wait 3 months for a course to be live before data can sort of flow into it, just to get enough data so that you can email. But in part of the setup process, the account managers create the templates. Is that right? To sort of help out?
So once the data has flowed in and you're ready to start using it, our account managers are there to fully brand the templates. So as James was saying, it's your voice, it's your look and feel, and we do all of that for you. You send us the images and we'll set it up.
Absolutely. So at the very least, you can learn to send an email using the template that OTT has already created very easily. And that's part of your marketing subscription. So then when we start moving on to sort of journeys and automation and microsites and other sort of clever things that the whole tool can do, then that can be sort of little projects in themselves. And I believe some of that then would be additional marketing credits, wouldn't it, Louise?
Yeah, that's right. And we have the ability to make it as customized. You know, we can create journeys. It's quite sophisticated, really. So we can target to a high
There's
level.
a lot of value just in the basic side. I mean, if you're going to get people to really understand about your products and services, then you do need to communicate after that with your micro audience, just to let them know what's going on, just simplistically by sending emails and of information that's happening. So whether it's an event or it's news, it's a really key, important part of the communication tool that is OTT. Okay, so let's just see if there's anything else are there any questions? We do have one question that's just popped up. Does the agent have to complete the course, or is it from the first engagement before their data is available to us? Right, okay, so I think I know the answer to that, but Louise, do you want to?
The agent will, once they complete, so there's two things, Sean. Once they complete the course, they go into the partner portal. But at OTT, we can track people who have started as well, but that wouldn't be available at the partner level. At the partner level, they've completed your course. Yes,
so what OTT does in the background is we have a nurturing campaign using the same technology. So we're saying, oh, we see that you've got halfway through the WestJet course. Do come back, we've saved you a place. So we help nurture people to the end. And then once they've come to the end, then it's down to you to jump on and then start if you want to do a welcome journey, you know, welcome to WestJet, this is what we're going to be doing, or just like WestJet's going to be running a webinar, or whatever you want to say. So it's once they've completed it, so that is quite crucial. And the other question I see that you've asked as well, Sean, is can you do surveys? I want to just get that question back up again. Am I able to send a survey in an email? Perhaps James, that one? Oh, sorry, Louise, you know that, yeah?
Sorry, sorry. James, but the answer is yes, using microsites. Yes. Is that right, James?
Yeah. So the survey itself would sit on a microsite. So you would send a link through via email. Click here, then you would complete the survey on the microsite, and that data would then be pulled directly into the system.
Fabulous.
James, is it possible to do to link to somebody's, maybe a survey that they have on SurveyMonkey? If I know it wouldn't be as sophisticated, but is that possible?
Yeah, absolutely. If the link exists, just we would then embed that in the email, and then again it would just take through to that page on SurveyMonkey.
Yeah. So you've got options, Sean, depending on the level of analytics and reporting that you want at the back end.
That's great. So I think finally, also Louise, there's an update on Otto next week, isn't there? Just to throw you into it. So
yes. Yeah.
There won't be any interruption to people getting onto Otto or anything.
No, we're working with the team of 424, James and Jake and their team, and we're just really improving the flow of data into portals. Some of it was a bit manual our end, but yeah, but it's back end. It won't make any difference to users.
Great.
In terms of accessibility or anything like that.
Yes, we are looking to constantly improve. Tech doesn't stand still, not even in a pandemic. We've got to keep enhancing it and improving it and moving it forward. So there we go. I think that's pretty much covered everything. The next session on AutoMail will be in 2 weeks' time. So it's every other week, still run at Friday, on a Friday at 11. I think some of you have already signed up for the future sessions, which is great. If you haven't, then yeah, please go to the supply page on the OTT website, and you'll find, if you scroll down, that's sort of all the webinars are seated there for ones you can either review that you missed, or obviously to sign up for any new ones. And I think that just remains for me to say thank you very much for joining us this morning and participating. I'm off to the hairdressers. I'm going to get this flick. This flick is annoying me. I'm turning out to be one-eyed at the moment. Yeah, so you'll see a different Julia in a couple of weeks' time, which hopefully will be a much improved one. And wish you all a really lovely weekend. And thank you again for joining us. And it's goodbye from Julia, from me at OTT. Goodbye from Louise, and goodbye from the team, James and Jake at Force 24, and thanks to Ninda's support as well in the background. And wish you all well. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.